Hey, welcome back to the Buck Junkie podcast. I'm your host, Malcolm Reed. Got my fellow junkies here with me, Mr. Jamie Williams, Mikey Dyer, Mark Williams. Gentlemen, how we doing this week?
Doing good.
Good.
Pretty good.
Y'all getting geared up? It's Dove. We're just a little over a week away.
That's right.
That means a
Not
cold
very
front's
far.
coming through a hurricane.
Yeah. I think we got the hurricane coming this year.
Go ahead and get your
Rain
shutters
for the next 10 days.
Get your shutters out. Get ready to board the windows up. All the birds are going to be gone.
Yep.
I just don't know where they go.
I guess they go back north if the hurricane comes from the south, or do they go west?
I've never done any investigating on that. They go somewhere. They just they leave the field.
They're not here.
That's
Right now, we got birds.
no doubt.
We've been working on our fields this year. Mikey, what are we? Are we leading into the topics today? Is going to be what?
Our main topic today is going to be dove fields and dove hunting. So we got a few interesting topics to go over today. I think we did a TikTok video and somebody kind of questioned our methods.
I didn't see
Not-
that.
Yeah.
Oh,
You didn't see the yeah.
had to.
They said we had an illegal field.
For every comment that says you got an illegal field, somebody said, no, that's how you do it. And I did some reading. I mean, I want to make sure, try to be legal. That's the whole point of doves. And I mean, I think it's an ongoing thing. When you look it up, so we're in the state of Mississippi. So when you go to rules and regulations, it specifically tells you that there's a lot of people that don't know what's right or what's wrong. And they've got strict, regulations on what is a baited field and what isn't a baited field. And so you have to abide by that. You can't just throw seed out on the ground. You can plant we're going to get into all this. This ain't what we're going to talk about right now.
Basically, all it is, he ain't got no birds.
Yeah.
And he's back and we do.
Mad if you ain't got no birds. Well, you don't want to get tickets.
No.
But
anyways.
before we get into that, you want to touch on what we talked about last episode in case anybody missed it?
Yes, we had John Gruchy on last week. He's our local biologist, but each one of those biologists, like he said, specialized in something. But John is a very educated and very resourceful man, and he's taught me a lot, questions I've had, and kind of cleared those things up. And I know y'all had a lot of questions for him last week, and y'all seen just the amount of knowledge you get from a biologist, somebody that has studied that or made that their career, how much more they know than us.
Man, between the biologists and our core engineer guys, I feel pretty dumb.
But what I take away from that is you don't realize how much resources you have is free that you can get in your state. Like I don't know if every state has that. I'm sure they do. Mississippi is great at providing educational material or help or guidance, no charge.
And they've all been willing to, anything we've asked, they're willing to answer or help or whatever.
Excited to help you with your land and all that stuff. That was pretty cool. I never knew that coming up,
So, what we gained a lot from John, but one of the biggest things that we gained was, and of course, the seed guy kind of backed this up, but was that vetch. We're just running that in the ground, talking about it. Everybody's heard us talk about it, but that I never heard of that plant, and I don't know that y'all had. And
I never planted
the results of that field as of today. It is
best
unreal.
we've ever seen.
Evidently, deer's never seen it or heard of it either because they liking it.
It's like crack to them.
Yeah, they liking it.
But
That's probably illegal too.
And we'll get a comment. Vetch is not the proper plant.
But some of the things we're going to, we talked about last week, and was, what we got laying on the table here. And I know those of you listening can't see these, but we've got a few things on the table that John talked about last week.
Show and tell.
Show and tell.
Mikey brought some stuff for show and tell today.
Y'all know what those are on the table?
I want to
Mark,
see
will you show them up for me?
Yeah.
I
don't think this come from Senatobia. I'm just guessing. Somebody's got an aloe plant in their office up here.
Yeah, that's the aloe plant I was messing with y'all. They come out of my office.
And we got these big green beans. They come off with a thorn tree.
It's a Mississippi snow pea.
It's a big one.
What is it, Mikey?
That is a honey locust bean. So yes, it comes off those trees, the thorn trees. And some of them don't all have thorns, but that is a honey locust. And that was John was talking about that last week about a honey locust bean, about them eating that pod. Well, this is it. It's not ripe. It'll turn like a mahogany color, to get real sappy like that aloe leaf there, and it smells, really sweet. And they'll eat this, and then of course what Mark's got in his hand right there is
Persimmon.
one of the most common things you're going to find out in the woods.
That's where you put your stand for bow hunting.
Yeah, if you can still catch them on the ground, none of these are ripe, so they're not the right color. But that's your persimmon. It'll turn orange.
You try to eat that one right there, it's gonna lock your jaw up.
And then these right here,
Muscadines.
these are muscadines. These are the purple ones. There's another breed called Scopanon.
Scopanon, yeah, that's what Granddaddy had at his house. Was Scopanon.
That's what was planted at the shed, wasn't it?
Yeah. I don't think those are wild. Those are tame.
They're more,
muscadines.
if I remember right, they're a lot sweeter than a muscadine.
I ain't gonna eat it.
It looks like wasabi paste on your finger.
It looks like a soybean to me or edamame.
I bet it tastes like
That's
it. Just try it.
Is it poisonous? It smells sweet.
I
Like it's
wouldn't eat it.
real
If
sweet.
Malcom eats that, he's gonna get sick
I
tonight.
wouldn't eat it. You better let me get in my computer for a minute before you start.
What's the
eating
side
that.
effects of it?
It's full of them. There's probably, I don't know, over 15 in this pod. I can feel them all the way down it.
You can eat these other things.
You don't know if the honey locust is edible?
I don't know. I didn't look see if it was.
Gotta be. You say it got thorns on it, right?
Yeah.
So it's got to be fruitful. If it's got thorns, you can eat it. Try it.
Maybe when it ripens. I'm going to let it lay there.
Yeah, it's probably a little bitter right now.
Malcolm's not the guinea pig you need
Heck
to
no,
try
you can
something.
get me to try stuff like that.
He's gonna be talking to Shell tonight. Somebody he's having a heart attack or something.
So the persimmons and the muscadines, these aren't ripe.
No.
These are, we're waiting on them to turn. And this one's kind of, it gets this little dusty look to it.
Yeah.
They start getting yellow, and then they kind of go to an orange, and that's when they start falling off, and that's when they're really edible.
Yeah,
like
they'll
right
turn.
now, I guess the deer probably would still eat it, but you wouldn't want to.
No.
No.
You don't.
There's an old rumor if you bust them open, you can cut one open in half, and you can tell how the winter's going to be. Oh, you brought a knife. I'm going to let you do it, Mike.
Hang on, I'm finna
Make a
pull it
mess
up
of it.
too.
You got to.
Yeah, tell us what-
way?
Huh?
I think
Down
it's
the
got
middle.
straight down the middle.
Straight in half, but it's
Like
probably,
this?
That's probably
Yeah, I think
harder than
so.
a rock.
Yeah, it's hard.
Don't cut your damn hand off.
Edit.
All on my, all on my.
Yeah.
Turn.
They're
Yeah,
hard to cut.
They're pretty daggum hard, but you got it. Now, when you split it open, you ought to see a seed in it.
Yeah.
And if it looks like a fork or if it looks like a spoon, ain't that what it is?
I think we're gonna have to wait till it gets riper.
That's a knife. Yeah, we ain't got neither one of them.
Watch it, it's sticky.
Yeah, you can't. I don't think you can tell yet because
No, you
if
have
you split
to.
them open, it's not ripe enough. I mean,
It could be a knife or a spoon or a fork. So if the kernel is spoon shaped, get your snow shovel ready.
that looks spoon shaped to me, but I can't really.
If it is fork shaped, it's gonna be a mild winter, powdery light snow. And if it is knife shaped, frigid winds that will cut like a blade.
The whole kernel of the seed,
Just the seed.
just
So
the seed.
it'll be
Can't
just
really
the seed.
tell.
So you're gonna have to get a seed out and cut a seed,
Oh,
not the fruit.
This
okay.
one's cut in half. I would say that one looks like a spoon.
Oh, okay, you cut the seed.
yeah, the
plum
white
in half.
is, and it makes the bottom
The white's what you're looking at.
white of that seed, the kernel.
If you say so.
Tyler, you have to put some images up now.
Yeah, you'll have to image that up. I'm trying to get it out of here. Look at that and see what you think, Mark.
Looks like a.
I'm gonna
That
be
looks
cold.
like a
I'm gonna be
spoon.
cold in the wintertime anyway, so it don't matter.
I think it looks more like a spoon.
Man, I'm gonna get my hand sticky.
So now, how much to take a bite of that? I've always heard is bitter.
Oh, I
Oh,
guarantee
they're
you
real
right there
bitter.
lock you up.
You think so?
It'll lock your jaw up. It ain't gonna lock the other end up.
Yeah.
I'll be spitting it out if I try it.
Just lick it. Just come on.
Is it that bad?
No, you'll be
It's
fine.
bitter.
Man, it smells good.
Try it.
It's bitter.
Like take a bite or just touch it.
No, bite it.
Lick
No.
it.
Ain't too bad.
You stuck your tongue out like a 9-volt battery.
It's pretty bitter, but it ain't bad as they say. Y'all had me thinking this would be the worst thing ever.
Get you
kinda-
bite it a little bit with your teeth. Get you some juices out of it.
No.
It's tart.
Yeah.
It's not. It ain't like I thought. Y'all. I've never tried one. I thought it was going. It's pretty daggone bitter.
Yeah.
It builds on it. It starts making
It
it.
starts working on you. It dries your mouth out real quick. Yeah. No, it ain't.
Ain't nothing you want to make a meal off of. If you was naked and afraid at Senatobia, that wouldn't be your first pick.
At the farm. Oh, Lord, we cleaned up our dove field. Of course, first off, we burnt the dove field.
Attempted.
Yeah.
We did. We burnt the crap out of it.
Well, it didn't. All right, so when you pulled up on this dove field, you'd have thought you could have threw a cigarette out the window and it just went.
How long
Gone.
did it sit after you sprayed it? First, we killed it. We
2
had
weeks.
millet growing and we had sorghum growing. We were terminating the field.
Yeah, it was about 2 weeks it set, 10 days, something like that.
Then we get out there, and Mark's like, "Oh, this is going." Right?
No, I was like, man, get your whooping sack ready. We finna burn. You got to run with it. So me and Mikey, we had our redneck drip torches, which consisted of a T-post and some old shirts.
It was pretty much Rambo style. You ever seen the movie Rambo where he's in the cave and he wraps stuff around
We
it?
made some Rambo
That's
torches.
what we did.
Yeah.
We did. Dipped them in a little diesel fuel and lit them and took off. So, but it did not come up like we expected it to do. You know, we expected, like Mark saying, we expected to drag that torch through there and just woof, it's gone. And
I mean, I've set my yard on fire before when it was that dry.
That's what
and
I
it was
was
like
thinking.
gunpowder. It was gone.
I mean, me and the kids were running out there one time just trying to whoop the grass from burning up the entire yard. I just knew that was going to go. It had way more fuel on it than the yard did.
Yeah, it didn't have a woof down there.
No,
It was a slow burn, but
We learned.
yeah. Well, I think, we didn't have drip torches like you probably needed to have. We were just trying to put a little bit of diesel fuel on it. And with those drip torches, they do a mixture.
Yeah.
So it has some gasoline in it, some fuel in it. Luckily, Jamie had his truck down there and had some extra diesel with him. So we kind of made a little line to get it going. But what really helped it take off was we had the right wind.
Yeah.
You don't want, when you're burning like that, you don't want a big, heavy wind. You don't want to get away from it, but you need a little wind to help push it. And so once we got it going and it got out there, the wind kind of took over and made a line. And some of those videos you can see on our TikTok, was that where they posted, I think?
Yep, or Instagram or Facebook.
Yeah. And you can see how the line of fire just kind of slowly burned across.
Yeah. But we checked the wind before we ever started. I mean, even if you're going to burn a field like that, even though it says it's a north, south, east, or west wind, you still need to check the wind because
At that location,
at
yeah.
that location, because it swirls, different, terrain. The wind may, swirl around or come out of a different direction. We checked it before we started burning.
Well, too, I mean, we were overly cautious, but I think in something like that, you have to be. I mean, because we didn't know what it was going to do. And looking back, when we first started trying to light that field, we was against that tree line. So them trees were taking all the wind, basically.
Yeah.
And then once we got up to the hilltop, it was perfect. It burned slow. I guess that freaking Johnson grass, I don't care what you do, it ain't going to burn.
I don't think it had enough time to die out.
Dry out, get all the moisture out.
Yeah,
all the way.
because Roundup don't really, it'll beat it back, but it don't like kill it.
You could hear it popping and sizzling. There was a lot of moisture
had a lot of
still
green
in it.
in the bottom of it, so it hadn't died all the way.
But one thing I thought about that would have helped us, so one, to be safe, we had cut, disced up all around the field and had dirt to where the fire couldn't get away from us. We needed some wind, so I was thinking, what if we would have grabbed our battery-powered leaf blowers, we could have pushed it a little better.
Drove
It would have gave us that air behind it, and so next time we burn one, we might give that. And I actually saw, I think somebody commented
and said that.
and then
yeah.
I thought about it the next day. I said, Mikey, man, we needed those leaf blowers out there
Mm-hmm.
because you could have got enough
Just to
air
push
going.
it.
It would have got some more oxygen in there, and it would have pushed it where we wanted it to go.
It worked.
But it
out.
worked. It worked.
out.
It worked good. I was, all the stuff that was running out of it, that was crazy. It was field mice and rabbits and
Crickets.
Crickets and grasshoppers like
grasshoppers,
crazy.
and they were coming out of it like crazy. But one of the crazy things was those right behind the burn line. Like, you noticed this right off, Mark. The ground wasn't hot at all.
No, you can stick your hand on it.
It was like a quick fire that burned through the thatch that was there, and then right behind it was just scorched earth, and it was covered. The seeds did not burn. That was in the sorghum, that was in the millet. They were just on the ground, and that's what the doves like.
Well, too, I mean, that fire was still going, and doves were lighting in the field behind it. The field was still smoking, and doves were lighting it.
Light in the field, yep. And that is a normal practice of what we did there. That's perfectly legal to do that. Now, the one thing you can't do is come back and just spread a bunch of more millet on top of it. That would have been illegal. You can't throw nothing on top of it like that. You got to just leave what's there. Now, I guess you could drill in a cover crop. That would be a normal practice. Say if you wanted to put wheat in behind it, you could come out there with your seeder and seed in, 90? I think the regulation I read this morning said 90 pounds or a bushel and a half per acre is a normal recommended amount. So you could do that, but you can't just come out there and broadcast, say some more millet or corn or anything like that on top of it. That would be a baited field.
Right. Yeah. So your big grains, your corn or anything like that you would plant, it has to be drilled in or prep ground, planted
Not on top of the
agriculture
ground.
planter. Yeah, can't be laid on top of the ground.
So-
Wheat can be laid on top of the ground. Millet can be. That's how you plant.
Yeah, that's how you plant it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so there's 2 reasons to do that. One's for erosion. 2 is for wildlife.
Yeah.
Like it is illegal to plant wildlife plots in that manner in the state of Mississippi. So that's why you can, according to the amount, the proper amount to put out on top of it. Now, what you can't do is if you harvest it, you can't bring what you harvested and collected out and put it back out.
No,
that's illegal.
Yeah, once it's taken off the field, you can't reapply it.
But just because you aren't harvesting it for sale or taking it off, you don't have to take it off the field. That's not part of the rule.
And I was reading in this Mississippi Department of Wildlife, Fisheries and Parks was where we got our information from and stuff like that on how to do the dove field. But those that are wondering about, can I go out and bush hog a pasture and slink? That's one of the questions in here. What is a legal dove field? When it asked that, can I throw wheat on a pasture? No.
Can't.
No, it has to be a prepared ground.
Could you drill it? Yeah.
Yeah, you can drill it.
But you can't
drill
just broadcast it.
Can't just
Now,
broadcast
so let me ask you this. Can you spray, throw, and bush hog? Because that's the way a lot of people are doing.
That's kind of the buffalo type.
Yeah, it's kind of a lot along the buffalo. What do they call it? Throw and mow?
Yeah.
Or something like that.
So
that's a way people do it.
Normal agriculture practice.
So you can do that.
You could go out there. You could sow it, bush hog it down, and let that wheat. But it has to be a grain that like wheat or millet or rye, not millet. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Wheat or
because you wouldn't put millet down that time of year.
No.
You might. I think the only place I saw it would be Japanese millet in a mud flat.
Yeah.
And that was for wildlife.
Well, even the rye,
fat.
The rye you can't because it's not going to right. I said rye. Lord, I keep saying that. Brown top millet.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. Millet would not be a
common practice.
Right.
So same sense. If you had a field and you sprayed it and burned it, because you put weed on top
prepped.
of it.
Yeah.
It's prepped.
Yeah, it's prepped then.
That might be getting a gray area there, but I mean, it's
that's
prepped.
a normal practice, and that's what a lot of people do with wheat fields. They'll have a wheat field.
It has to be a cover crop field.
Yeah,
something that will grow in the winter. It cannot be something that would, die
just
out.
attract.
Yeah, just
attract. That's the key because they consider that bait. Mm-hmm. You're baiting at that point. You're not doing a normal practice.
So they still say it has to be covered X amount of days before the season. I guess it doesn't
have to be covered.
If it's a broke field,
if you break the field and you throw down, just say you went out there, you sprayed disc or tilled and throw down wheat just on top of bare ground. All right, as long as you got the 90 pound, no more than that, down on there. 10 days before is when you can't throw it out the day before.
Right.
And do it and hunt it the next day.
10 days prior to your hunt,
it's got to be out.
It's got to be on the ground.
So I guess they're figuring those 10 days it's going to germinate, or either the bird's going to go ahead and get it.
Yeah, and
you're not legally hunting over it. But what a lot of people don't realize is a lot of times if you harvest a field and you just get it back down to dirt, you ain't got to throw nothing on it. Those doves are going to come in there and get the scraps and the dirt. That's what they want. So, I mean, having a big pile up in there ain't necessarily helping you that much.
I mean, I definitely think we need to get some pea gravel, though, and get that road gravelled right there in the middle of the dove field.
You might, I don't know, could fix a road. That might be legal, but you couldn't just come out there and rock salt it.
You cannot throw down any kind of rock salt. That is very illegal.
We're making ice cream, homemade ice cream out there.
In the dove field.
Yeah.
That's where we make our ice cream stand.
Yeah.
But too, I mean, I guess that changes state from state. So definitely check out what your local.
We're not responsible for any tickets
that we're talking about.
That is the most important thing to take away from this. Go to your local state regulations and see what they say, because they will write you tickets for illegal field.
You want a fly swatter?
Man, this fly's driving me crazy.
That's that persimmon juice over there.
Microphone.
Yeah.
He just goes back and forth, forehead to microphone.
Swallow him in a minute.
Oh, I'd die. I hope you did. That'd be so good. He gets
on camera choking to death because it's fly. I'm sitting there looking at him, probably cross-eyed on camera.
I thought it was something wrong with the camera.
No, it's a fly, man.
That's Malcolm over here twitching. He's good.
That's why y'all hit him with persimmon. Y'all
side effects from persimmon and draws flies.
Let's spell that sweet persimmon.
But no, it's
we used to always do dove fields at our house, and it was. I kind of worried, and one of our game wardens, Mike, I actually called him. It's like, hey, I want you to come look at it. And he said, I don't have to come look at it. And I'm like, why? He said, go out there and look. And I went, look. You see, he's already been out there. And when he came, I don't know, but
when Mikey sent these notes over, that's exactly what I was thinking about. And it's because when in doubt, call your local game warden.
Right.
Tell him to come check your field before you invite people. If you're worried about people getting tickets or if you're legal, you and your buddies or families hunting, call him. 9 times out of 10, he's already
He's already looked at it. Yeah.
Well,
But-
they ride around in a helicopter looking for
That's right.
those fields because I've seen them
Yeah.
all around our house. And I actually talked to somebody that used to fly the helicopter, and they were like,
They
"The
know your-
game wardens around all week this week."
Yeah, they
Yeah.
know your
Like, what
field.
are they doing? He's like, looking for dove fields.
And then again, if you're not doing nothing wrong, you don't have nothing to worry about. I mean,
That's right.
But have you ever been sitting on a field that was illegal and not known it? And what do you do? I mean, what do you do? I mean, somebody just say you prep the dove field and I showed up to hunt. You invited me to hunt. We show up, it's dark. I go out there, get my bucket, sit down. I can't see the field.
You don't know if it is or
You
not.
don't know if it is or not.
The first thing I do as a landowner, I'm gonna tell you, look, I ain't responsible.
yeah.
If you get a ticket, it's they're giving everybody a ticket.
Yeah.
Right? If everybody's
right.
got a gun on the field,
You showed up to hunt it,
yeah.
so
What do you do?
Yeah.
I mean, I was in a hunting club one time. Guy invited me to come hunt. Abby was she's probably 5 or 6 years old then. We go out there, same thing like you're talking about, pitch black, dark, sitting on a bucket. Like I said, Abby's little girl then, and she goes, "Daddy, what's all this?" And she picked up a handful of wheat. Like, well, maybe it's just right here. And man, when the light come up, we ended up going back to the camper and just hanging out. We didn't hunt that day.
Was it? I mean, it was everywhere.
Oh yeah, that field was way illegal, way illegal.
We went to a field a few years ago, and we promised not to call no names on this, and we're not. But anyways,
We're not incriminating
we're
nobody.
not incriminating nobody. It was a good story. But anyways, we're sitting out there, and I don't know, it's probably 40, 50 people usually hunted this field, and this man, particular individual, comes out and he usually gives a safety briefing and then says a prayer, and he was standing out there, and you could tell something was on his mind. And he took his hat off and he was rubbing his head, and everybody got quiet, and we were standing around, and he said, "Okay, so I'm just going to lay down a few rules here. I don't know if the dove field's legal or not."
He just came out and said it. That just thought to be an indicator right there. If that's what you hit him with.
He said, "You hunt at your own risk. If you think it's legal, don't walk on the field." And by this time, he done got
He
aggravated.
doesn't work himself.
Oh, he didn't work himself up because he must have lost sleep over it the night before. He been sitting there thinking about what he's going to tell everybody. Because evidently somebody must have gotten a ticket in the past, or something had happened, or whatever. And anyways, they looked to him to be responsible for it. But then, in the same process, he was sitting there and he said, "Let me tell you something else. This is my field. So if you get hurt on this field, you are not my problem. You got hurt because you're an ignorant,
Whatever.
you're just ignorant.
You stepped in the
it's
hole
not
yourself.
my problem.
I didn't step you in that hole.
He said, "You step and break your leg in a hole. You stepped in that hole. I didn't step in that hole. I didn't push you in that hole. It's your responsibility. So everything on this field is your responsibility."
I'm not paying
Oh, yeah.
hospital bills.
By that time, I done got tickled. And I got to chuckle and pull my hat over my face because I knew him pretty good. And I got to laughing. And he just looked at me, "Mikey Dyer, you can pray." He just busted me out in front of everybody.
Did you go to praying good?
I had to. I had to stop laughing.
please don't let me
first,
get
but-
this ticket.
Pray that the game warden don't
That's
come
what I
this way.
said, Lord,
Lord,
please don't let
the game warden come
out
down
here today. We don't know if Mr. Farmer's got this field right or wrong. It was dark when we got here.
So if you get on them illegal fields,
So, okay, when the game one, have y'all ever been there where they've actually came out and checked you?
Yeah.
Not-
Yeah.
So, what's that process of what they're going to do? They just walking around, or they
They usually just kind of sneak out of the bushes on you.
pop up?
I've
Oh,
seen them drive up, but I've seen them,
I've seen 'em
just
come out
pop
thick.
out of nowhere.
And at that point, it's just like getting away from a grizzly bear. You just got to outrun the slowest one. You know?
Best thing
Y'all
to do
took
if
off
you're in
running?
question,
Like,
just-
y'all take off running for real?
I
Nah, I
did
didn't.
no.
Yeah.
I have seen some people run by. You be sitting in a dove stool, and Joe Blow comes hightailing it
No
across.
license, no nothing. He's gone.
You just sit there.
No plugging the gun, no
Yeah.
license, a baited field.
Oh, they can get you on a bunch.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, we hunted a field one time down the Delta that was all corn. There's no way this guy's combine was it inefficient. There's no way.
He didn't
It's
make no-
probably 40 or 50 of us hunting it. And I mean, I've never seen birds like that, but I mean, by law, we was legal.
I guess everybody.
So what they do, what I understand they do, they've got like a box or a square frame, and they'll throw that out on the field,
wherever it lands.
and then wherever it lands, and count how many seeds is in that box. And if it's over a certain number, the whole field's baited.
Yeah.
So if they throw it out where you piled it up,
If they hit your corn pile, then
you're in trouble.
You're in trouble. But if they get, I mean, and that's the way. I don't think they. I've never been checked at dove hunting, but I've heard stories. I've heard stories where, these guys will have a charged field and they might charge you $100 a gun or whatever. Come out there and they got you set up. They already knew the field was baited. They was trying to get people there to make money, and then when you get caught, that game warden's writing everybody $300.
I mean, like I said, then again, you know, I mean, you know, you pretty much.
I would
know.
say dove hunting's probably the most baited thing.
Hunting
yeah, because it's one of them things people either don't know.
Maybe except for yellow acorns, I don't know.
Yeah.
They sell more of that at Walmart than anything.
But I think everybody's got the most stories opening day of dove hunting. And some of the funniest, best stories. And it's I guess we never got checked at the house. I mean, he checked the field, but we had him pull up and eat dove with us, but we never, had any issues.
Mm-hmm.
We've seen some good stuff though.
We got checked across the street over there, hunting over there before.
Yeah.
Was you over there when they got all them tickets?
Yeah.
No, I'd already left. No.
So they went in and they planted sunflowers and went in to bush hog the sunflowers, and we're coming back and resowing sunflowers.
Throwing them on top.
Well,
on top.
That's baiting.
Well,
yeah.
He could have got away with it, but the seeds are black.
The black old sunflowers?
Right.
So that was what was planted, right?
Correct.
Planting.
But he went and got black with white striped bird seeds and threw out.
He got a deal on them.
Yeah.
What it was. Because the sunflowers are pretty damn expensive.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
So he come out, broadcasted birdseed sunflower on top of it.
The black
They
old
come out there,
sunflower.
why is there two?
Yeah.
Because it's not against the law to bush hog your sunflowers.
No,
you can do that.
You got to bust your heads open that way.
Yeah.
That's right.
and that's the way you need to prep that field too. Is
Yeah.
you let them dry out and you run over and hit them with the bush hog and just try to run the bush hog as low as possible and bust that
And
seed
scatter
out.
them everywhere.
Scatter it.
And I'll tell you how a good way to do it is do it in strips too.
That's what we
Leave
always
some.
do.
That's what we done like every week was go through bush hog down strips. Get
'em.
enough landing area where they feel lighting in
Yeah.
amongst those standing ones, and then come back and every week just try to knock down some more, and just keep bush hogging it down.
There's another comment on one of those TikTok videos I saw. People said that the doves want that thatch in there to land in and be safe from hawks and stuff. And I have never seen it where doves prefer it to be thick on the ground. Have y'all?
Well, see,
When
this
you're dove
one-
hunting?
Well, you got to have them somewhere to land.
Yeah.
They can't land in that. They might land on the dry and walk in it and feed, but they're not going to land in it.
I don't think they want to be in it.
No, I'd heard that the cleaner the field, and I mean we seen that with the millet field. When we sprayed it, I mean they would light in some of those patches where it was thin, but where it was really thick and thatchy, they would light in the fire lane and then
That's
they'd
exactly
walk
what
over
they were.
to
They
it,
were
bro.
lighting in the dirt
Yeah,
Correct.
beside where we tilled and it made our fire break, and then they might ease over in it and eat, but they're mainly eating in the dirt.
yeah, they were. But there's like you was talking about throwing down that little square. One hard thing about doing a dove field is where you load and unload your seed.
Yeah, you definitely got to be careful.
You got to be careful because, if you're just say you're doing it with a ATV spreader, you got one of those 5 or 10 gallon spreaders on the back, and that lever does not come up in the front of the cab. So when you pull that lever,
You got to run, get in.
you got to run and get in and take off because it's slinging 200 pounds to 300 pounds per acre right there when you first take off. So if that's why when the game warden shows up, is yes sir, no sir.
Yeah.
You act right, don't argue,
That's the
because he
thing.
can walk over here and drop that square
Right
where you
there.
loaded that thing at. The whole field's illegal in that one because of that one spot.
And you make sure if he wants a sausage and biscuit from breakfast that
You got
morning, or if he wants some lunch, you make sure he gets it. And all jokes aside, we're joking about it, but I mean, it is what it is at that point. If you hunt in a legal field, you just got to take it.
Man it up and take it. Yeah. We still got to respect the game warden. They're
It
doing
gives
their
you something
job.
to laugh about.
That's their job,
Yeah.
And I respect that because it's for the sake of the birds. I mean, we've all heard stories of people killing, 500 birds on opening morning off a field. I mean, that's if you get on one of them, that's probably.
I was on one of them, but it was legal.
Was it in Argentina?
No,
No.
it's an olive branch.
Really?
Sunflowers planted in the middle of a gravel pit,
Oh man.
and it was good.
I'm not talking about like one hunt. I'm talking about like Saturday, Sunday, Monday. You
We
live
I've
killed-
been on one of those.
We killed 3 days of just unreal birds. It was but also you got to think it was probably shoot 30 acres of sunflowers. I mean, it was a bunch. I mean, it was not your average dove field by no means.
Did you have to pay to hunt that one?
Mm-hmm.
How much they charge? $100?
I don't remember. I was a kid. I was young. I couldn't even. I still can't shoot good, but I really couldn't shoot good then and was killing limits. You know?
Well, do you feel like we still have those kind of bird numbers
No.
in Mississippi?
Like doves when we were kids were the size of a pigeon now. And now I don't know if they're just that young or it's a genetic difference or something, but doves now are like really small compared to what they used to be. I mean, when I was a kid, we just hunted pasture and we would limit out, heck, morning, afternoon, you'd limit out both days.
Cut pasture or just growed up pasture?
Had goat weed in it and it might have,
That's when, yeah.
Might have had a little tops on it.
Somebody went out there and helped him out, I think.
Hotted that pasture up a little bit.
I was grown before I ever got the truth told on that one. But yeah, it probably was some,
Jamie thought doves love goat weed.
Yeah, I mean, I thought goat weed and an old cow pond. That's all you needed.
If that's the case, we got
goat weed.
Yeah, that stuff will take over.
But no, we've had some awesome hunts at our house. Just sunflowers, and we did cheat a little, I guess you'd say. We got a light pole put up with the wire strung between the poles.
That was for the kids.
I didn't see one thing about that.
It's not illegal
on the regulation about having a line.
It's not.
That was one of your first times you really hung out with us.
Yeah, dove hunting over. Yeah, Jamie's pasture. That was fun too.
We had a good time.
Yeah, killed some birds. Michael shot birds with BB gun that day.
That's right. He was out there with his Red Rider.
Yeah,
I remember that.
I still got pictures of him running out there and getting the birds.
That's the thing about it.
I mean, dove hunting's fun to me. It kicks off. That's
Hunting
the kick
season.
off
Fall,
for hunting season.
Football.
Yeah.
Bad. You spend all that money and that time, all them weekends for usually 1 to 2 days. That's the only downfall.
See, used to when we done dove fields, we've hunted those all through the season. I mean, I've been part of some dove fields where we opening weekend, we hunted all 3 days, bam, 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 and then the next weekend, or maybe it closed. I don't remember what the regulations are or the dates, but we would hunt it, 1 or 2 weekends and then stop, come back, hunt it again, and man, some of those fields we would kill birds plumb up to almost a Halloween. We would every
how far is it? What does Mississippi go to? It goes on up into the.
Well, it does a split.
Closes and reopens.
Right, reopens. But reopens like cold outside.
You have to look it up, Mike. You got your computer open, see, because it's a split. And they say, and I've never hunted dove during December, but there's a whole different batch of birds that come in.
One of my dad's buddies, that's what he would hunt opening weekend, but his favorite time was the winter hunt.
Yeah.
So the north zone areas, which is north of U.S. Highway 84,
which is our area.
Yeah, that's our area, which it splits it. Pretty much the south zone is like down in the
Below Grenada.
Yes, Mississippi here.
Yeah.
It's on down past Jackson.
Oh, okay.
And most of the state, 3/4 of the state of Mississippi is in the north zone here, but opening day is September 3rd through October 14th. Then it closes October 14th, and then it opens back up November 19th through the 27th, and then 24th through the 31st, December. And then South Zone is open the same day, September 3rd, and then it goes to September the 18th and closes, and then it opens October the 8th through November the 6th. See, ours used to be like that.
Yeah.
A long time ago, it was like 2 weeks split, and then it came back up again. Because I remember us stopping hunting. We couldn't hunt for a few weeks and start back up. But,
Did I know y'all did? Did you ever hunt on the Sunday where you had to you couldn't shoot till 2:00?
That used to be one of the rules, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Like it didn't open until after. I don't know if it was a rule.
It was one day when opening day fell on a Sunday. You couldn't open until after church.
Yeah.
Because I remember I think I hunted Independence that year with a friend of mine, and that's what the dad of the dove field, he sat out there in the truck. When he honked his horn, you could start shooting,
Yeah, yeah. I mean, the big thing about dove season is it's communal.
Yeah, fellowship.
That's the weekend you get together. You always, whether you shoot birds or not, we're going to have the grills fired up. There's going to be kids there. There's going to be adults. Everybody's having a good time. Ball games are going to be on. You're teaching the kids about gun safety and, how to clean birds, hopefully, and all that stuff. And it's those are memories that as a young hunter, you don't forget.
Yeah, that's your first introduction into hunting.
Yeah.
And even if you've got a small kid, I remember taking mine when they were, 3, 4 years old. Get them in their little camouflage get up. They wasn't shooting, but take a BB gun like you're talking about, and shoot a bird, and they would just tickle to death and run out there and get a bird.
Yeah.
I remember my first one. We hunted behind Robert Edwards' house, Daddy and Frankie and Robert ever done that field. And I hunted with Granddaddy's, or who's 20 gauge with a polychoke? That's Granddaddy's? No.
Daddy's. It was Jim's, I think.
Jim's, yeah. So that's the gun I hunted with. And it was an old Winchester Model 12, I think is what it was. Kicked like a mule. My shoulder hurt so bad, but we killed birds. I think we ended up going to Frankie's to cook them.
Yep.
And that's the best story to date is I was probably, I don't know how old I was.
17.
Yeah, I might have been 17. But we was down there, and Frankie, he was still to this day probably one of the toughest men I know. And he was sitting there firing the grill up, and I was a little kid. Of course, I was interested in cooking then, you know. Walked over, and I said, "What you doing, Mr. Frankie?" "Oh, checking the fire." And he reached down, and he grabbed that briquette lit. It was ashed over white, and held it in his hand. Set it back down. I said, "It needs a little bit longer." And I looked at him, and I was finna grab it too, like it couldn't have been. He said, "No." But his hands were that way. It was just so callous. When he grabbed it, I mean, smoke was coming off his hand. He was holding
feel
it.
it.
He set it back down.
He was in a body cast from his armpits down from a car wreck for 2 years. So he was on crutches, and he made pads to go on his crutches where they wouldn't sink up in the mud where he could deer hunt. I can remember as a little kid.
He was on crutches that year.
I mean, he was. I mean, that joker, his hands, they're like leather. He is one of the toughest men you'll ever meet.
He's still alive?
Yeah.
Invite him out to the dove hunt.
Oh, you don't. Yeah, he'll make you look bad. He can outshoot any of us.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Real American.
He was tough. But no, that was one of my first memories. And I remember going out there with Daddy when they dissed it and planted it. And, you know, it was like you say, it was something as a kid growing up you look back on.
That's
And
right.
something you never forget. But it was some good eating. That's the first time I ever had dove. I'm looking forward to that. Some old bacon wrapped dove.
Yeah, that's the first time we ever had it. Daddy and them always fried it. And Frankie, I guess the first time we ever ate it, it was marinated in Wickers and bacon wrapped.
Yeah.
Good, man. I'll tell you, it was.
Wickers.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
an old
real
marinade there. I hadn't had that. Man, we got to get us a gallon of
I
Wickers.
think I got some.
It's,
Yeah, I
not,
got
some.
it's not easily found now. They used to have several Wickers
Super
there.
Super Lowe's always
Lowe's.
got it.
Yeah.
Kroger and Hernandez usually has it. Usually.
Bottom shelf, usually.
Yeah, Super Lowe's got
Wickers
it.
marinade.
Have to get some for the weekend.
We gotta have some for dove season. That's for a fact. Okay, so we've talked about some good hunts we've been on. We, killed limits of birds, plenty to eat. What's some bad ones you've been on?
When you spend about $4,000 on the dove field and a hurricane comes through the week before, you invited all your buddies over and you kill like one limit between everybody.
Yeah, those kind of hunts suck. But do y'all remember the hunt we went on? Remember no name.
I know exactly where you're
So
going. I was going to say this.
We paid to hunt a dove field one morning. Just that morning. I
In
think-
Arkansas?
Nuh-uh.
Offense. I didn't go to
Mm-mm.
Mark and Malcom went to Arkansas. I didn't go to that one.
Jam up field.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we paid to hunt this field. We get out there and it's kind of prepped. It's got sunflowers in it, but they're still green and they bush hogged a few strips through it.
Oh,
We
it's
paid-
in Toby. I know exactly what you're talking about
Yeah, I
now.
don't remember what it was, like $200 a head.
I know where it was at.
$50 a head or something to hunt one morning. Or one morning and then one evening, I think. They would supply breakfast that morning.
Yep.
I think I killed one bird.
There just weren't any birds there.
Mm.
It wasn't that big field. It's all 51
Nope.
other
No.
apartments, was it?
It ain't too far from
It
your
ain't too
place,
far
though.
from your place.
Oh, really?
No, that was the morning. What was it? You or Thomas that shot the one that fell in the ditch and the old tree hugger got so mad. Like you could control where the dove fell.
You were hunting right next to me that morning.
Yeah, it
I
must
think
have
it was
been
Thomas. He shot it and fell in a ditch.
It wasn't a
and
kudzu ditch, and it was like a 50-foot drop. Like
Couldn't go get
you
it.
wasn't.
I mean,
gonna
granted,
get it.
we're not going to waste an animal in any way possible.
yeah.
But I ain't finna go get bit by a cottonmouth or nothing else, And this dude freaking lost it. I mean, he was tore up about it. But yeah, I know exactly which field you're talking
Yeah.
about.
That is the thing with dove hunting. Now, if you're going to get out there and you're going to shoot birds and you wing one, you got to make the effort to go find that bird. Sometimes you just can't find them. I ain't going to lie. Them jokers blend in. You get them in some tall grass. I don't care how much you walk it up. You might not find them, but you got to make that effort. You can't
You
just,
still got to make an effort.
yeah.
Are we gonna have the trial dog with you?
Yeah. We'll have a dog. I don't know how she's going to do on dove. She might take for the house. Everybody starts shooting.
Was y'all on the hunt that I think Thomas was telling me about it one time. He went with somebody and they went out to out there off 304 and was hunting on the field and
I did
they
not
got to
go to that one.
shooting and all of a sudden the guy that owned the field shows up and like, what in the hell
Yeah.
are y'all doing?
That was off.
Everybody was out there hunting and it was his field and he didn't know they were out there hunting on
Yeah.
the dove field.
Y'all done got permission. It's one of
He
them,
got permission.
it's one of them
It's
permission
right there past
hunts.
John Deere.
Yeah.
Yep.
off 304.
Yeah, no, I know exactly what you're talking about, but no, I did not make that hunt.
I know who the gentleman was that come out there.
Oh, really?
Jamie does too.
Me and Mark went on a good one over in Arkansas. We got put on a
I'm so glad I missed that one.
jam up. How far? I don't know. We had a little drive. It wasn't
About
too
2
bad.
hours.
Yeah. We got out there. They put us out there that evening, and I don't know. I guess it was a cornfield, wasn't it, that had been cut?
No. It was a field that had been cut, but we're the only ones that didn't kill birds.
Yeah.
But the ones that were killing birds were hunting over a deer feeder that was throwing corn out every 15 minutes.
Yeah. We kept hearing shots, and we were lined up, on a tree line. I think we shot one bird.
We shot one bird.
One bird flew over, one bird hit the ground. And then we loaded up. We sat out there at mosquitoes about to ate us alive. It was hot. Man, we'd had enough. It was me and Mark, and we had our kids with us, I think, another guy's son. We went back to the truck, get back up there. You had to go up, how farm roads are. We get back up to where the house place is, and they got grain storage, and the sky's black.
Yeah.
I was like, why would you, if he's going to take us out here, you done drove by that thing so many times. That's where the birds are.
They ain't in that
Put
field.
us out. We could have killed, if we'd have just been up there for 15 minutes, we'd have all limited out right at the house. But
Battle wasps. That's when wasps were everywhere, too.
wasps were everywhere.
That was not a good
That was a memorable one for me when you didn't shoot no birds. I guess we weren't out no money, though.
No. Well, I mean, it was we remember it. It was a memory.
Yeah, memory.
Yeah.
No, we had some good ones. I mean, several good ones at the house, several good ones across the road from the house, and trying to think. Probably my best one was that year we hunted at Gravel Pit. And as far as I know, it was 100% legal. I mean, I know the Game Warden checked and stuff, but it was a whole lot of gravel pit and a whole lot of seed, and big power lines running right down the middle of it.
Oh, you can't beat that.
And it was a good hunt.
It ain't very sporting to shoot them setting, but I ain't got no problems with it.
Man,
Shoot one time, make them get up, then you finish it off.
That's right. That's right. Give them a sporting chance, right? Just amongst them.
But
where do y'all stand on pigeons? I done spotted. We got 2 or 3 flocks of pigeons flying around.
Pigeons do not go against your bag limit.
You can kill all the
very
pigeons
good to
you
eat.
want. Yeah.
that's the porterhouse of the sky.
Would y'all? We shoot some pigeons. Y'all gonna eat them?
Yeah, I'm eating them.
Yeah.
I'll eat them down here, yeah.
Yeah,
You know, they ain't been up Memphis under a bridge
Oh,
nowhere.
don't kill them pigeons been under the bridge.
Oh, they eat up
You don't
some
want them
diseases.
I-240 pigeons?
No,
No.
no. But most of those pigeons that are down there around that area, there's grain-fed pigeons. They're just like the doves. So
I
Good
mean,
eating.
they know they've been eating millets,
The
so
birds they're twice the size of.
What's the
There's a ringneck.
ringneck? Yeah, ringneck dove.
I haven't seen any of them.
They're big as a pigeon. They're big.
Yeah.
they're, I think they're out of Argentina or South America, something like.
Yeah.
I think so, somewhere like that.
But they don't. I don't believe they count against your bag limit either.
No, I don't think they do. I think the mourning dove's the one we got
That's the only
15.
one.
Right.
So how about the new dove chair we went and got?
I bought 2 of them.
I went Emily had to go to Hobby Lobby. I said, run to the Academy. I said, get me one of these chairs right here. Daggum, you got your fly over here now.
We done found it's got like bog feet on it, so it won't
Yeah.
mar down in the mud. On one side,
Got a tabletop.
it's got a tabletop, shell store, two places for shell storage. Then on the opposite side, it's got like a flip top cooler built into
What?
it.
Built
And
into
in the back, and with a little easy access lid, so the whole thing unzips to load it. Then it's got a flip up lid just to get in to get your
Water's out of.
And then in the back, it's got your bag, so you ain't got to put your
It's like the back of a
Birds.
dove vest on the back of the chair.
slide your birds right in the back, and you ain't got to lay them down in the ants.
Yeah, if you put it on the ground, fire ants gonna find them.
So
Where did you get this thing?
Academy, $50, wasn't it?
Yeah. They only have one camo. I was trying to get mossy oak, but
Oh yeah, they don't have the old brown and
it looks good.
brown and tan or something like that.
Old
Those look
military
pretty
camo.
good.
Man, you're gonna be so comfortable in that thing. You ain't even gonna stand up to
Oh,
shoot. You're
man.
just gonna sit.
You ain't got to
down and
stand
shoot.
up. Well, yeah, you can sit down. And
It's
shoot
like a
there.
director's chair. Like you
Yeah.
up with them.
It ain't a bag chair; it's a director's chair. If it had like a flip top where you could throw it back like the duck chair,
Duck blind.
yeah, you'd be set. I got 2 of them. I'll let you sit in one.
You gonna let me sit in one?
Yeah,
Hey, we could just drag
As long
the
as you
duck blind
pass
out
the
in the field.
Yeah.
as long as you pass the waters.
As long as I pass the water.
It won't hold. That's the only thing. It don't hold many waters.
That's all you need for a dove hunt now. If
It'll
you're
hold
out
a
there-
few.
If you need more than 12 waters, you got a problem.
That's right.
Might still be
know your
sitting on a
limits on
bucket
your
that
water.
afternoon.
Limits on your water, yeah.
I remember
I'm all for staying hydrated, but
one dove hunt. I was a kid, and I probably ought not tell this, but I sat beside Mikey on the dove stool, and he had some of them Mad Dog 2020 waters.
what? No.
I remember that.
You was a
Sitting on the
kid
fence
drinking
like- I wasn't drinking
Was
them.
you drinking them?
No, but I remember somebody had them.
There ain't no telling what was in my cooler. I was gonna say one of the worst dove hunts that I ever went on was it was a good dove field, great dove field. Everybody killed limits, but we stayed up all night and was hung over the next morning. And on the way down, nothing was open. Hernando at 4 o'clock in the morning. We headed to the dove field way off, anyways. And I ate a whole bunch of those honey roast peanuts. That's all they had. And got down there, and that sun got to beating on me, and I got sick.
honey roasted peanut.
I run everybody away from me. I was in the bushes.
Had your own grunt call going.
Oh yeah, it was bad. Oh man, I was feeling terrible.
That's so. What's on the menu for dove season? We've talked about the birds. We've talked about some hunts. What's on our menu?
Man,
You got to do bacon wraps.
What's the memorable? Yeah, how does the dove season weekend go for y'all?
start out with breakfast.
Yeah,
Yeah, I was
No.
gonna say I'll slip on back a little early and get breakfast rolling.
Yeah.
I was thinking before we go.
I
Get
will have.
up.
I
now there is a family that I hunted with that they are there at 4:30 in the morning, and at 5 a.m. they got full blown breakfast ready to go. And if you hunt with them, you have to eat with them. So you better be there early. But that's tough getting up at 4:30 in the morning, having breakfast ready by 5.
I imagine some of them stayed up all night.
They probably hadn't been asleep.
Probably didn't
yeah.
hunt. Yeah.
But
that,
yeah.
You can't eat that much that early.
You gotta have a biscuit or something.
Yeah, we get a little early snack.
Take something, sausage and biscuit or bologna and biscuit or something to the field with you, and then
You delivered.
Yeah,
I
last
delivered
year.
last year.
We get catered to.
I didn't
Yeah.
dove hunt that morning. I stayed at the camp and cooked and delivered them around waters and cokes and biscuits for everybody.
Mikey DoorDash.
That's right.
yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Dove Dash. But no, we'll got to do bacon wrap.
That's the standard.
Standard.
Yeah.
That's the recipe everybody knows.
Tell you, like
Breast them out. Y'all leave them. You breast each lobe out, or you leave it
oh,
bone
leave 'em
in?
whole.
I
Yeah.
like to lobe them out
Yeah.
because we did that last year.
We did
and
do it last
lobe them
year.
out and cut that bacon. And I mean, it don't take it quick.
They're like micro poppers at that
Yeah.
point.
Definitely pre-cook your bacon or buy microwave bacon that's already cooked.
What, I can't remember if we did that last year, but we may have.
Might
used
have
some-
been.
We pre-cooked it on
Man,
the flat
pre-cooked-
top.
cooked it till it was,
Yep.
it was still
Yeah,
limp.
We threw it out there on the Blackstone
Mhm.
and brought it back in and wrapped each piece and then put them on the Traeger pellet grill. And by the time that bacon got done, that dove was medium rare. Perfect.
see, Daddy would always get the whole both breasts, leave bone in,
Yeah.
and batter it and fry it. Man, do
Well,
that.
so what would he, like seasoned flour? What would he batter it in?
Just flour.
Yeah.
Just like you would deer
Yeah.
meat.
I've never had fried. I've had fried quail. Never had fried.
Fried
quail.
dove's real good.
That-
We'd actually do gravy and biscuit.
I've
do
had
for
it
breakfast.
smothered down, like smothered in gravy, served over rice.
We ain't gonna
That's
mention
really good.
names like we said earlier, but you don't happen to still have that, or did you ever have that hot wing recipe we always had?
The chicken wings.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
The ones that stayed in the cooler 2 or 3 days, and
Yeah.
we had to do those.
Back in the day, we thought it was probably the best wings ever.
2 or 3 days on ice.
Yeah.
It was cold,
Oh,
but it was
it was
like,
like a
I
brine,
think it was
like
like
yeah.
24 hours is what
72-hour.
you could
brine.
let it go further if you wanted to, but
Yeah,
most of the time it was 24 hours. Just throw the ice in with it.
yeah. Man, we might need to try that then.
Yeah.
Good.
I know Thomas had it written down. I didn't know if you did.
Yeah, mostly it's soy sauce, brown sugar, and bay leaves, onion powder, garlic powder.
Didn't you have it was
To have like an Asian-y flair to it with that much soy sauce.
It's Asian wing.
Yeah.
it's like a
You
Asian
do.
hot
I
wing.
forget
though.
what the hot sauce is they use. I have to look. I don't have the
Sriracha
exact
or
recipe.
something?
Yeah, maybe so.
Or tiger sauce, maybe.
Oh, this
It was Louisiana. I thought.
Oh.
Thought he put a gallon of it in it.
May have.
I thought it was Frank's. Maybe not.
Either
I
way.
ain't cooked them but once. I mean, they're all right.
We can put it together enough. We can
They were
try it.
good back then because we didn't have nothing else.
Them
to eat out
waters.
there anyways, and waters got to us.
Waters made you hungry.
What about the poppers then? Do you ever do them like that? The jalapeno cream cheese dove meat wrapped?
We've done them before. Trying to think. We usually always done. You had your dove. If you had any leftover deer meat that wasn't quite, you got rid of
Oh,
it.
we're fixing to cook deer meat too, 'cause that's a backup plan.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
if you don't shoot no
You got
birds.
deer meat.
You can still roll that up and get,
Throw some
See,
bratwurst
they-
on.
yeah,
Do that or fry fish. One.
yeah.
Yeah.
I think we'll probably deer it up because we got some deer. We got to make freezer space down at camp.
Yep.
We'll thaw out whatever cuts we have and figure out how we're gonna cook it. But last year we took dove and just skewered it, no wrap, breasted it out.
Yeah.
Cut each side off, marinated it, put them all on one skewer, and man, those dudes would melt in your mouth because you couldn't overcook them. I mean, they only stayed on the grill for what 7 minutes.
Not long at all.
Really fast.
That's where people ruin it. Just like
yeah.
if you overcook it, it does get that livery, gamey taste.
You know, people say that about dove that it's too it's wild or livery.
No,
it is if you cook it well, but if you cook it right,
yep, it's like a duck.
it's just like duck.
Yeah.
Yep, overcooked, it ain't. I don't care for it, but when it's cooked just right, it'll melt in your mouth.
And I've had to eat some that was just so powder dry, and you had to just gnaw it,
Yeah.
and it was not good.
One thing I like about cutting the lobes off each side of the breast is you can feel the shot better. You don't
Yeah,
crack
that's what
the
I
tooth.
was going to say.
Because you get one of them you leave on the bone where you just pull the breast out.
That number 7.5 hurts.
Man, it does. It'll crack a crown.
Don't have to worry about it. I'll be the only one that'll get it.
Crack one.
Yep.
Just swallow it and keep on going.
That's right.
Keep going. Just hope it don't pop it. Yeah.
Well, we're going to have the Friday night pregame for it.
That's what I was getting at. We got to do something. We got to tune it up Friday.
Mm.
That'll probably.
Y'all be feeling like Mikey eating honey roasted peanuts that morning.
Hanging back cooking breakfast that
Man,
morning.
get somebody to bring us a porta john down in the field.
Oh yeah, y'all better think about
Camouflage porta john.
that. Get loaded up with gravy and
Hey, I
biscuits.
got
and go to the
I got a
field.
bucket for that.
Yeah.
I got a Dove bucket.
Does it have
Before-
a flip up seat?
Before we had any kind of facility at the house, I bought one of those. It was like I guess it was a camping bucket.
Yeah. First year we hunted down there.
Yeah, it was a camping bucket. I hated going just hanging on a tree. You know, as a
I
big
hate
man, I hate hanging on a tree. You got to. Sometimes you got to go to the tree.
Yeah.
You know, but I said I'll fix this. I'll get a bucket, and it came with like these bags that go inside it as a liner, and you dump this chemical in it, like RV chemical, and it had a nice seat on top of it. The lid flipped up.
I picked
you got-
Malcolm up one time from Hilltop, and he come out of stand with his rifle and his bucket.
That was a bad night before.
And I said, don't you put that bucket up here with us. You leave it right there.
I didn't use it. That was in case of.
Yeah, in case of.
I have used it before, though. Hey, we had some more hay bales. I didn't have a choice one time. I was like, I ain't missing this buck. I had my gun sitting on my lap. I was on the bucket.
Well, we didn't cover this earlier. What have we been seeing on camera?
Oh, yeah. So, yeah, on camera we've got. I don't know. We've been seeing a lot more bigger bucks than what we have been seeing. A lot more bucks showing up.
Man, probably my favorite picture we've been getting is the crossing the creek. It's the mama deer and the fawn
Leading the
almost
two
every
across
single
the
day.
creek. I
Every
want
day.
to see one with them in the water because they
Yeah.
got, they had that ditch has been up to their neck
Right.
deep probably. But they come across it. I was surprised. So one day it was swift, and that camera does pretty good picking up coming across there. More stuff crosses
What you
that
think?
creek right there than you would ever think.
Yep.
Knock on wood, I don't think, I'm probably finna jinx us, but we hadn't seen near the coyotes.
Yeah,
We've seen
a
one or
few.
two.
Hadn't seen many cats this year, but they're there.
Yeah.
I guarantee it. We had some turkeys with some poults on camera. That was pretty cool. I'd like to see those. A lot of twin fawns. So we've got a excellent new crop of deer on the place. The does at this point,
Those look
our
good.
does used to always look like skeletons. You could see the ribs in all of them. You could tell they were stressed out from lactation, and it was just hard drought summer on them. But now, man, our does got bellies. They're healthy looking, and it's from having all these summer food plots. In 1 year, it's amazing the difference we can tell in the population of the deer, how healthy they look on camera.
I've only seen one doe on camera, and it's been recently that looks kind of stressed.
Yeah,
But
but I don't think it had any fawns with it, did it?
I couldn't really
So
tell.
it's hard to see if that's that might be a 1.5-year-old doe that hasn't been bred yet. Just, mama may have been so low. You never know. Could have been something wrong with it, or could have lost its fawn or something.
Yeah, majority of the herd looks accurate.
Yeah, pretty good. I've been real happy with that.
We've got some bucks to look at now to try to decide what we're going to put on the hit list and what's not going to be on the hit list. And
They've still got,
the biggest thing is like trying to figure out what deer made it through last year. Because me and Mark, we all looked at those cameras or those pictures, and Mark said, he thinks that 1 7-point we, wouldn't let anybody shoot last year is the same deer. But we get a few more pictures of him and look.
I told you it had the same algebra as the other one.
The same,
same algebra,
geometry, and
same angles.
Yeah. Hey, look from. I mean, it had kind of to me same
you
characteristics.
got the same characteristics.
It may be a brother, but
They still have a little bit of time to grow, and it's amazing how much antlers these deer put on. When they start growing them.
That's why you need all that protein.
That's why it is why they need it.
Well, age, I looked that up. As age as a deer depends on how many inches they put on in a week. It said on one of the things I looked at, like a 1.5 to 2-year-old deer will put on about 3/4 of an inch a week. I don't know if that's overall horns or that's like each horn.
Each one, I imagine it's probably overall.
Yeah, and any deer over that age will put on 1.5 inches. Is that right?
That's
what I told you?
I think that's what we read.
That's what I told you.
That was from MSU Cares, is where we saw that on their website. It's pretty amazing, though. And they still, we won't see them start hardening up for probably another 3 or 4 weeks, I imagine.
probably close to a month.
Yeah, we still got.
Right before our bow season when they really start.
Yeah.
And in 1 week they'll have velvet and all of a sudden they ain't got none no more.
That's right.
See my bloody horns on the pictures in.
Yeah.
It'll happen. And it happens pretty quick, too. Then they start acting like bucks. Like right now, they still see a bunch of them together.
They all buddies now.
Yeah, they're all buddies.
It's going to be interesting to see how many make that their home range where we're at and how many leave and how many we pick up that may come from another property.
That's right. But we checked all our trees yesterday, checked the acorns trees. Looks like we got a good crop of acorns coming. Still a bunch of muscadines and persimmons that are just about to get ready. And everything's doing what it's supposed to be doing this time of year.
Yep.
Just need hurry up and get here.
That's right. Well, gentlemen, I think we've about wrapped up our dove episode. We come back next week. It'll be before the hunt. We got 1 more week to go.
Last minute preparation.
Yep. So y'all be thinking about them recipes we can talk about. I know we hit a few of them, but if there's anything else, and we'll touch base with everybody next week to let you know how things are going. Tyler, they can find us on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok.
Y'all got us on all the platforms. We've been uploading original Buck Junkie content over on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, pretty much anywhere you name it, and we're on all the podcast platforms. So
yeah, and we appreciate all the feedback on the questions and comments on those on these little short videos we're doing. If there's anything you guys would like to see us touch on or anything like that, shoot us some messages on there. You can contact us any kind of way on any of those platforms, and we're going to be doing this all season long. This is my favorite time of the year.
Just getting it kicked
Hunting
off.
season, just getting it kicked off. I'm ready for cooler weather, and it's going to be a good deer season. But we appreciate y'all hanging out with us today. And for the rest of the guys here at Buck Junkies, we'll see y'all later. We gone.